to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars, crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah, I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? Sometimes you need to let loose, grab juice, get goose, tattoos, taboos, get screwed. Loosen up, buttercup, all those hate comments will never make you feel enough. We're all adequate graduates, hearts full of calluses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous? Can't wait to apply all those mathematicus. But we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop up. Fuck you, you're lost. We all know that we never really want a boss. So I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. Yeah, I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me?
Well. I'm gonna have to remove Mr. Bean from the scene. There we go. It's just me today, just me. So, our young colleague Ben it's hit him hard staying up till 4 o'clock and drinking all that Red Bull. So he's going to have to recharge his batteries. So the old fox here will be continuing on his own. We will touch on some of the election stuff. I think we feel that we must. The French election, Shalini, doesn't occur until Sunday, and I'll give you an update on that as soon as it does. But round 2 doesn't happen until Sunday, so we can't really talk. There's not much to say about it, to be fair, until then. But it's looking like Macron's going to be destroyed, much like the Tories were last night, and we kind of expected it because, as Ben said on a number of occasions, dare I say even shouted it, it wasn't a vote for Labour, it was a vote against the Tories. And I think that's plainly obvious by the massive amount of people that haven't voted for Tories. And when they had an alternative, they voted for reform. So I've got some funnies for us anyway, because let's face it, what would life be if it wasn't funny? Thank you, Vaughn. I appreciate you saying it was a good showing. Thank you, Emma. Good evening. Real review. Oh, Ben's there. He's watching. Good on you, sir. Tony Garrett. Oh, hi, Tony. Haven't seen you for a wee while. LCW, Julie, Emma, Melted Mushroom. Who else we got? We've got Adam. Adam Y. He was in at the start. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Right. Okay. Let's have a look at Keith's first speech at the podium.
Good afternoon. I have just returned from Buckingham Palace, where I accepted an invitation from His Majesty the King
You sure did.
to form the next government of this great nation. I want to thank the outgoing Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak.
No, you
His
don't.
achievement
No, you
as the
don't
first
mean that.
British Asian Prime Minister of our country.
You don't mean.
The extra effort.
I'm going to cut you off there. I'm going to cut you off there, Keith, because what does it matter if he's an Asian or not? Why are you bringing race and colour into it? I don't understand that. Surely if the man's the right man for the job or the right woman for the job or the right it for the job, surely that should be sufficient. Why would one have to bring attention to his colour? We don't mock you for your ridiculous coloured hair and bright red nose. Do we? We don't really need to see any more of the clown show that is Keith Starmer, do we? At this point in time, people, have we had enough? I have. Yeah, let's consign him to the bin. Now, one thing I would like to point out: what the hell was Jack Black doing voting? In the UK, why is Jack Black hanging about a polling station? I don't understand this at all. But, each one to their own. Each one to their own, if that's the case. Anyway. Now, this paper was published, I think, when was it published? Last Sunday, I think. But Rishi warned us that Starmer will wreck Britain in just 100 days. So, 100 days is only just over 3 months. So that would be quite interesting, because that's one of the things that we can pull up quite quickly, because obviously July, August, September, by the end of September, according to Rishi, Starmer will have wrecked the UK, wrecked Britain. So we'll see what happens there. So we can call out that as bullshit or accurate. I think Ben last night said that he thought the Ginger Growler will be the Prime Minister within the year. But we'll and again we'll see, because the Ginger Growler. What is going on? I mean, really, what is it with her? Who told her that was a good look? That's her going in to become the Deputy PM and the Minister for what? Levelling up and housing or something, was it? Yeah. Who told her that that was a good look? That's just sad. I mean, ladies, correct me if I'm wrong, but why would you wear something like that? It's awful. Is it not awful? What is it trying to say? Is it saying that I don't have a figure and I'm going to wear baggy clothing to hide it, or what? I still have the paper up. Oh, there you go. I'm tired as well, but anyway. Sorry, Spencer. So there you go. So all my comments refer to this photograph and not the paper. So what is all that about? Why would a woman choose to dress in such a manner? I just don't get it. Is she blind? Does she get dressed in the dark? Can she not tell colours? Because I know teal and orange is a big thing in Hollywood in their movies, but I don't think you're meant to apply it to your suit and your hair. It's pretty vile. So we did get a sneak peek. Someone managed to get a photograph of a special ballot paper that had been produced for the Scots, and in particular for Nippy. So, Scotland does get treated as a special case, because effectively most of us up here are a special case. And that we have mental health issues. I think but Nippy's ballot paper. And she's voted for them because she would, and I think she's been hitting them. Somebody said they thought she'd lost weight. I certainly can't see it myself. I just couldn't see it at all. Oh, right. Speaking of the SNP and their lack of seats now, the last count I saw it was 9, it may be 10, I'm not sure. The last count Reform were on 5. That's going to make a huge difference. But it puts them above the Greens now. So the Greens will not be happy bunnies, will they? Because they're only on 4. So I think there was one area in Scotland that still had to declare. I don't know if it has by now. It really is not going to make much of a difference, 9 or 10. They've effectively been wiped out in Westminster, which is a good thing. It is a good thing. So the parties now are obviously Labour, Conservative, and Liberal Democrat. Now, Liberal Democrats have played a blinder here, and you've got to give due credit where credit's due, because this guy's played a freaking blinder, and I thought he was a bumbling idiot along the lines of Boris Johnson. And to be fair, the public like Boris Johnson, and he seems to have taken a step out of that playbook and ran with it, and along with a carefully targeted campaign that's selected seats, they've done a brilliant job working within the system that we have. And the system that we have is first past the post. Now, Liberal Democrats have always, and they've been banging on about this for, 40 years or more, about proportional representation, which doesn't come alone. Ben and I had a discussion about this today, because proportional representation doesn't come without some trials and tribulations that go along with it. It's not just as simple as going, we'll have proportional representation. Because if you're not careful, your proportional representation doesn't represent you. But apart from that, this guy has played a blinder. So, instead of using a mass bombing campaign, he's sent his snipers out and he's picked off the seats one by one. And they've got 71 seats. That's just unheard of. This is almost back to the Tories and Whigs, before Labour was even thought of. Labour was a relatively new party, because Liberal Democrats effectively Liberal, effectively the Whigs, from many, many years ago. So he has played an absolute blinder, and it's something that Reform will try and, I suspect Reform will try and emulate this in 5 years' time, or less if Starmer runs into problems. We can only hope. Then again, what can he? Well, I was going to say, how can he make things worse? But you can always make things worse, can't you? Right. Let me tell you a story about the SNP. I'll leave Ed up there for entertainment value. So a worker who enjoyed a lavish lifestyle while working for Aberdeen City Council over 17 years has been jailed. Now, Michael Patterson, 59, exploited his position as a council tax and recovery team leader, taking money from as far back in 2006 until last year. So what happened was, he'd worked his way up to the point where he was a team leader and had the ability to change payout accounts without verification and without anyone checking it. So when people left a house and didn't reclaim their overpaid council tax, Mr. Patterson put it in his own bank account. And he did this. He did this over a period of years. And allegedly he started it to pay off his debts. So over £1 million later, Mr. Patterson has just been sentenced to 4 years in jail. And guess what? He's still in debt. Now, in Aberdeen, I mean, if you think Scots people are tight, you really need to go to Aberdeen. I mean, the first thing that somebody says to you in Aberdeen, is you'll have had a cup of tea, you'll have had your dinner, because you're not getting one off of me. Talk about tight, they are tight. Right, yep, and he found out, so he's got 4 years in the jail, so he'll probably do just over 2 and they'll be out with the newly stretched. Oh, there's Uranus up there. Anyway, where are we off to now? What beauties do we have? I mean, I don't have a lot tonight. I don't have a lot. I won't be here for long. I'm not going to bore you for too long. But I've got some nice stories as well, and I'm moving on to them quickly. And just to point out that Ed Davies' campaign is such that for every 49,000 votes that the Liberal Democrats got, they got a seat, and for every round about 800,000 votes that Reform got, they got a seat. So it just shows you how effective that Liberal Democrat campaign was. And of course, everybody's going, oh, it's not fair, it's not fair. Well, you know what, people? It's been fair for centuries, actually, right? So, define fair, right? Just because it doesn't go the way you want it to, you just can't suddenly say, oh, it's not fair. Because everybody's been living with it for God knows how long and not bothering their arse. So, yeah, I accept that we can change things, but there's no incentive for a winning party to instigate change here, especially when, like Labour, who have been campaigning in the past for proportional representation, won by such a margin. I mean, Starmer might go, let's just put that on the back burner right now, while we're like, what is it, it must be nearly 300 MPs ahead of the Tories, So, there you go. What's going on? Are we talking about cooking here? Are we talking about... You should see, you should taste the cookie my wife made. And that's not a euphemism before we start. She made a Biscoff cookie. And I'm not to tell you the secrets of how she made it, but oh my God, it tastes absolutely brilliant. Because I took it down to the mechanics downstairs, and they're like, that's fantastic, that's amazing. And then later on, one of them actually said, how much are you charging for these cookies? Because I'll buy it. I'll buy them. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. It did look amazing, didn't it, Serena? It tastes even better. It tastes even better. In fact, send me your details. I'll send you a little present. I'll do that for you. Because you've been good to us this week. You know where to send your details. Right. Shall we carry on? What are we on to now? So, let's have a look at this man. So, he's even worse than Liz Truss. Well, not quite, but nearly. So this is the third time I think he's done this. He wins a by-election, which usually is as a result of a poor turnout, and he targets a particularly activist part of the electorate who he knows are going to come out. So he wins a seat in a by-election, and then as soon as the general election comes, he promptly loses it. And this is the third time. So I think we can quite safely say that George Galloway is not one for keeping, I mean, that's him gone. The Workers' Party has no seats, and George Galloway lost his. There you go. Easy come, easy go. That's why he'll still be doing his Moat podcast, which isn't really the mother of all talk shows. It's not really, because I think George Galloway can barely talk. There's something I find quite disturbing about his method of delivery, shall we say. Mrs. Zelensky. Now, this is alleged. I'm not 100% sure, but I haven't yet seen anything to debunk it, and it's been up for 3 or 4 days. So, allegedly, Mrs. Zelensky has ordered a new Bugatti at the princely sum of 4.4 million euros to be delivered to Paris, to an address in Paris. Wow. You paid for that. Yeah. Our tax dollars and our tax pounds and our tax euros paid for that car. They really did. Nice. Nice job if you can get it. Now, I want to talk about Frank here. This is a coffee stall outside Bethnal Green tube station, apparently, or railway station or something. And don't shoot me down if I've got slight details wrong here, because I'm not in London and I'm able to verify it, but I do have it from 2 separate sources that this is an actual true story. So Frank here has been selling coffee in this location for many, many years, and he didn't have such a fancy stall as that before. So, Frank's been selling, as I said, Frank's been selling coffee for ages, and then a Costa opens beside him, and then another coffee shop chain or something opens across the road, and suddenly his license is revoked, and he's no longer able to sell coffee, and he's no longer able to trade there. So, you know, Frank's can't provide for his family anymore. He has to sell his equipment to try and, you know, tide over while he looks for another job or something else to do. But the local populace, Frank did nothing wrong. All Frank did was sell coffee. He got his license revoked because big chain coffee shops opened near him. So the locals rallied round, petitioned the council, pestered the council, and eventually Frank got his license back. Right? But Frank had no equipment because he'd sold it to keep his family and food. So the locals continued to rally round, bought Frank new equipment and a nice little shed for him to trade in. And now Frank is back at Bethnal Green selling coffee. And anyone who knows is buying their coffee from Frank and not from the 2 major chains that are effectively encircling him. So if you are in Bethnal Green, I would urge you, in the spirit of community and the spirit of sticking it to the man, I would urge you to buy a coffee from Frank, because this is the kind of heartwarming story that you really hope is true. And obviously, I've taken 2 or 3 days before bringing this up because I didn't want to put out something that turned out to be nonsense, but I believe this is actually a true story. So good on you, Frank. Well done, mate. And if I'm never down in London and near Bethnal Green, I shall buy a coffee from Frank. There you go. And if you want to, you can buy us a coffee by going to ko-fi.com/chasing descent and making a small or large donation. And that would help me and Ben to feed our families. That's the kind of thing that we do in these shows. We give you entertainment and you give us cash. That's the theory. Doesn't always pan out, but sometimes it works. If you're unable to provide any cash, then you could always like, share, and subscribe, because that's free. You know, and even the tightest of you can do that. You could like, share, and subscribe. The more views on the channel, the more we get in ad revenue. So we'd appreciate that as well. Moving on, Ben and I were having a conversation the other day on the morning meeting, and Ben was talking about flags, because he was wanting to get a communist flag for the election show, because Keir Starmer is in effect a Trotskyist communist, and has been for some considerable time. He was when he was younger, growing up. I mean, didn't we all dabble with communism when we were going through our teens and things? We all thought it was a You know, when you've got nothing, an equitable share of the wealth looks good, doesn't it? But when suddenly you have to decide that, oh, hold on, I've got to pay for this, I've got to pay for this, that's mine, and no, you can't use my car because I need to use it that day. So when you get to the point where you've actually got nice things and you don't want other people sleeping on your couch, then maybe communism doesn't look so good. But some people just seem to stick with it. I think like Corbyn and Starmer, they're communists. They are communists. But anyway, Ben was looking on Amazon for communist flags, and he just typed in 2 Amazon communist flags. And the first flag that came up was 100% accurate in my book. It was a Scottish flag. So the Scottish flag was the first result. Then the flag of the former Soviet Union, fine. Then Nigeria, then the LGBTQ flag. Wow. Like Amazon's commenting on communism there, isn't it? Well, there you go. Oh, I had a phone call today. From an unknown number in Glasgow. And the phone rang, and I thought, don't know that number. So I answered it, and it was silent. So that's usually the sign of a call centre or something, because they won't talk, or it won't really connect to an operator unless it thinks somebody's actually answered the phone other than an answer machine. So I said, hello. And then there was the 1 to 2 second pause, and then, hello, I'm Jeet. I am speaking to you from, and at that point I said, how did you get this number? This is a secure government line. Please stay on the phone. And at that point it went click. And she hung up. It works every time. It's a joy. Of course, sometimes you phone up and say things like, National Crime Agency, how can I help you? The best one, though, is when you get someone who purports to be from Microsoft and say, no, I'm Microsoft. You phoned Microsoft. What do you want? This is the Glasgow office of Microsoft. You can have some great fun with these people. You really can. It does brighten up just a little tiny bit of your day, doesn't it? When you mock the afflicted who are working in some Indian sweatshop. And I only use the term Indian because that was the kind of accent. Nothing to do with Rishi Sunak, obviously. Now, adults that take things just that little bit too seriously. Now, if I hadn't befriended Ben and brought him up from the depths of despair, I think he could have ended up as one of these people.
Initiate Aaron! Approach! Kneel. By the right of council, by the will of the force, I name you Jedi Apprentice. Rise and speak your name.
Rilo Storm Chaser.
Rilo Storm Chaser!
Oh my God. Ryland Storm Chaser, off you go, mate. Oh. It's just taking things just that step too far. Now, and I don't want you to cast this up to me if you ever see me dressed up, because if I'm dressed up, I'm acting. Right? I'm aware of what I'm doing, and I'm acting. I'm not purporting to be a member of the... This guy's wearing is he wearing an Australian bush hat? Who does he think he is? That just doesn't matter. Cellini's, yeah, that's exactly what I was actually going to say. I found early footage of Ben. But anyway, what was I going to say is, if you actually could do what he just did with a lightsaber, that guy would have no shoulders. It's crazy. These people are nuts. But hey, each one to his own. Each one to his own. Indeed. Now, we're actually getting towards the end of the show. It's been quite quick, I know, but you know, I'm quite tired and will probably want to kick back and relax for the rest of the evening, which you should too, because many of you joined us last night, and it was good. It was good to see that. Let's have a quick. Let's dive into the chat and see what's going on there. Vaughn's work near there. Oh, he'll go, Frank. Yeah, cool. Anyone else think it's ridiculous that you need a license to sell coffee? Yes. I you know what? It's ridiculous, Spencer, that you need a license to do many things. Now I can understand basic hygiene and stuff like that, but you know, do we take it too far? Because I mean, if you think about it, during things like the pandemic, and they started telling people to sanitize your hands, and this is not medical advice, YouTube. This is not medical advice. This is just purely opinion. But I mean, there are scientific studies that say if you overuse these antiseptics and alcohol, especially alcohol-based hand wipes or washes, you dry out your hands and you kill the microbiome that normally lives on your skin, and that microbiome that lives on your skin prevents infections from entering your body. So maybe you don't want to do too much, and this is, it's like, and I'm still flirting with this. I've said this before. I stopped using toothpaste now about nearly 4 years ago, and I know you're all thinking, "Oh my God, he doesn't use toothpaste." But since I stopped using toothpaste, I don't get plaque building up anymore. My teeth seem just as white, if not whiter, right? I brush them, but I don't brush them with toothpaste. I just brush them. And, it was my dentist initially that said, he said this about 10 years or so ago, and he says, I said, what toothpaste should I use? And he's going, unless you've got sensitive gums, just use anything you like, because all it does is make your mouth taste better for 5 minutes. And that's true. And see, when you stop using toothpaste, you don't get any swing in your mouth. My mouth, if you're on a healthy diet, there's no reason your mouth or your breath should smell. So think about that, people. If you're not on a healthy diet, your breath may be rank. Not because of any infection or anything like that, but because of what you're eating, and masking it with chewing gum or Tic Tacs and toothpaste isn't going to do you any good in the long term. Maybe you want to sort your diet out first. Well, actually, Shani, I don't use water to start with. What I do is I just brush my teeth with a dry toothbrush to start with. And it works just fine, works just fine. I mean, there's my teeth. I mean, I'm getting old, so my teeth aren't maybe as white as they used to be, but they're not falling out, and they're not covered in plaque, so works just fine. And you're not getting any of that nasty. And fluoride is an industrial waste product, right? That fluoride is an industrial waste product, and there's been some studies that indicate that it can aid in preventing tooth decay, but those studies are pretty ropey, to be honest. It's just one of these kind of, how you get these kind of modern myths that people just grab onto and go with. Maybe one of them, it might not, but that's what I do, and it works fine. And you don't. I always see. I've never used a lot of toothpaste anyway, because I hate that foaming at the mouth thing that you get if you use too much. If you use too much toothpaste, and I just thought I'm going to try not using it, and it really does work. It does work. So there you go. We'll find out on Monday. Yeah, we'll find out on Monday. I mean, I don't know when we're not going to do a live show for the French election, because it'll all be in French, and French speak quite quickly, so it's quite hard to follow them. A bit like trying to listen to a Scottish person if you're English. So I apologise for tonight's show. You're only getting the Scottish version. Yeah, there's Joey doesn't use fluoride toothpaste. He uses coconut oil. But yeah, I've actually found that, and with not using toothpaste and not and just brush until your teeth are clean. That's all you need to do. You don't need to stick to minutes. There's this other thing about you need to drink 2 litres of water a day. Well, there's no scientific basis for that. None whatsoever. It's just a figure that's been plucked out of the air. This is why when I see people that this modern thing about going for a walk or a run and everybody's clutching a water bottle, you do not live in a desert, right? You're going for a walk or a run for even an hour or 2 hours. You don't need water. You just don't need it. Unless you start off incredibly dehydrated, you will not need water while you're out. It's crazy. And the Australian Army backed this up because they took 2 platoons and they gave one water and as much as they liked, and they told another one that they had a limited amount of water, like half a litre, and they weren't to use it. And they were out for the whole day, to use it very sparingly. They were out for the whole day, and there was absolutely no discernible difference in performance between the 2 different platoons. The one that could drink as much water as they liked, and the ones that had a very, very restricted intake. So, no difference at all. And these guys, they weren't just out for a stroll. They were force-marched and, plain soldiers and all that. So, yeah, the whole thing's a nonsense. But a lot of modern things are nonsenses that we've kind of picked up and just run with. And nobody questions anything these days. Does nobody turn around and go, why? Yeah. You can't go down there. Why? No, the 5 fruit or veg, that's nonsense as well. I mean, I don't eat, I very rarely eat any fruit or veg, to be fair. Fruit in particular is really bad because fruits are, you've got to be careful with fruit because fruit's very acidic, so it'll do your teeth in if you don't clean your teeth by dry brushing, I would suggest, followed by a rinse. And then the other thing with fruit is it's full of fructose, and people go, "Hey, Bruce, fruit's a natural sugar." No, sugar's sugar. It doesn't matter how you get it; it's sugar. But fructose is even worse because fructose is treated by the liver as a toxin, so it gets priority when it needs to be processed. So don't fool yourself into thinking fruit's a good thing. Everything in moderation. And Ben would back me up here on this because if you're a man particularly, you're hard pushed to beat a carnivore diet. You really are. I mean, hey, you do your own research and do what you like, but I find I'm hard pushed to beat a carnivore diet. To get a good chunk of steak or a good, I got 5 kilos of pork belly the other day at Booker for £9. It was, used that day, but 5 kilos. So I butchered it up and froze it into chunks. In fact, my wife cooked some last night and it is pretty damn good. It's hard push to beat pork belly. It's a fantastic cut. It's full of fat, which gives it the flavour. Gives you your ability to absorb fat-soluble vitamins, which you can't absorb if you don't take fat, right? So people that don't eat fat end up with vitamin deficiencies because you need fat to absorb certain vitamins, especially D and I think any of the B vitamins, I think. Anyway, why was it so cheap? Because it was used that day, Shalini. Yeah, it was down from 30 quid to £9. So it was a third off, basically. Pretty good. 5 kilos of pork. It even had ribs in it, so you could cut the ribs off and make pork ribs. Anyway, right, let's crack on. What have we got left? People? We're getting near the end, as I said. So we've got this thing here. Now, these organic burial pods will turn your body into a tree after you die. Now, call me an idiot if you wish, but isn't that quite a good idea? Isn't it? I mean, you've got like a built-in memorial, plus you're putting a tree up, which will give the planet loads of nice oxygen and shade, because you realise that when your council cuts down all the trees in your street, the temperature in that street goes from 27 to like 30, 37 overnight, because there's the trees, and it's only trees. Bushes don't count. Trees provide around about 10 to 12 degrees centigrade cooling effect. So council shouldn't be cutting down mature trees on streets, regardless of the state of the pavements. Fix the pavements around the trees. Don't cut the trees down. I don't know. I don't see the problem with that, because you are allowed to bury you can bury yourself in the back garden if you own the house. You could have a nice little orchard of your dead relatives. Put tags on them, granny. Or as Ben would have, rabbit number 1, rabbit number 3, hamster. He must have a pet cemetery out the back. His pets are always dying. Yeah, family tree, there you go, Spencer. Yeah, that's cool. Right. So tonight's reading to end the show comes with "Leave Me Alone." So the most terrifying force of death comes from the hands of men who wanted to be left alone. They try so very hard to mind their own business and provide for themselves and those they love. They resist every impulse to fight back, knowing the forced and permanent change of life that will come from it. They know that the moment they fight back, their lives are, as they have never lived them, are over. The moment the man who wanted to be left alone are forced to fight back, it is a form of suicide. They are literally killing off who they used to be. That's not a literal suicide, but a metaphorical one for YouTube. Which is why, when forced to take up violence, these men who wanted to be left alone fight with unholy vengeance against those who murdered their former lives. They fight with raw hate and a drive that cannot be fathomed by those who are merely play acting at politics and terror. True terror will arrive at these people's door, and they will cry, scream and beg for mercy, but it will fall upon the deaf ears of the men who wanted to be left alone. Author unknown. And I think that's a very, very poignant note, and quite a good warning, I think, to politicians and people who would meddle in the affairs of men who have families and who just want to be left alone. Yeah. There we go. Leave the man alone. There we go. So with that, I am going to bid you adieu, because I am quite tired. We had a long night last night and we've had a good day today. So with that, as always, it's been great for you.
to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a shrink who can catch me when I'm falling. Cover up my scars, flip the handlebars, crashing in my car, wake up in a bar. I'll be a superstar, just on my avatar. This world is so bizarre, empty out the reservoir. Yeah,
I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me?
I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe. So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? Sometimes you need to let loose, grab juice, get goose, tattoos, taboos, get screwed. Loosen up, buttercup, all those hate comments will never make you feel enough. We're all adequate graduates, hearts full of calluses, but we know calculus. Damn, ain't that fabulous? Can't wait to apply all those mathematicus. But we can't get a job that pays us enough. I'm about to pop up. Fuck you, you're lost. We all know that we never really want a boss. So I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo. Yeah, I'ma do what I want to, something I can't undo.
I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost, I'm sick of this place. Don't know how to stop when I'm feeling this way. So I'm taking 6 shots till I'm feeling okay. I think I'm going crazy, don't think I'll get home safe.
So I'm taking 6 shots, all straight to the face. I'm taking 6 shots, are you coming with me? I'm taking 6 shots, yeah, straight to the face. And I wanna get lost,